Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zoe Whitley. I'm the Regional Marketing Manager for Anglophone at IDA Technologies. Thank you for joining us today on our webinar. The topic today is AEC Collection, What's New in Autodesk Revit 2019. And our presenter is Dolapo Olejabi, whom is the Regional Application Engineer based in Nigeria. I'd like to quickly just start one key webinar poll where we've got a question for you. I will be activating the poll right now. If you can please maybe just give us some of your feedback. The poll is active. Can you please give us some of your feedback if you can? Good. I think some of our participants have participated in our poll. It looks like some of the feedback coming through is 13% are currently using Revit 2015 and below. We have 20% of our attendees that are using Revit 2017. 47% of our participants are using Revit 2018, and 27% of our attendees are using Revit 2019. On our second question, what is your organizational BIM or Revit competency level? The answers that we've got is 56% on level 1 and 44% on level 2. Thank you very much for your feedback on the poll. Please remember, if you have any questions or any queries, please use the Q&A tab, and I will be able to assist you with any questions and answers. Also, please send some questions through that you have for Dolapo, and he will be able to answer your questions. Possibly after his presentation, he'll be able to address any questions that you may have. So Dolapo, over to you.
All right, thank you, Zoe. My name is Dolapo Olejabi, Regional Application Engineer for IDA on Autodesk software. Currently speaking to you from Accra, Ghana at the moment. So I guess I can say Akwaba to you guys. All right, so today we'll be talking about the new features in Autodesk 2019, the improvements that have been made to the software based on the observations and comments and requests that have come from users across the world. And during this presentation, I will talk to you about what these new features are, what they're trying to achieve, and how you can use them for to extract more productivity from your workflows. So these new features have been categorized according to the following topics. You have strengthen, which is to ensure that you're able to contribute to strengthen the foundation of the product there's a basic reason why most of us are using Revit, why we have converted to Revit. And this base, this foundation is being strengthened by the features that have been placed under strengthen. Then modernize. The technology is improving at an amazing rate, and the software needs to be able to tap into the capabilities of hardware and basic technology available. So new features have been added to maximize on, to modernize the software. Then automate. Productivity improves when you're able to take tasks that you do over and over again and automate them, so that with a click, something that would have taken you 15, 16, 20 clicks gets done automatically. So we'll look at the features that support automation in Revit 2019.1. Connect. Also, again, technology. The world is becoming more and more connected. Connected BIM is becoming the way to go when we are dealing with distributed teams. Look at tools that ensure that teams can maximize their connected workflows, especially when they're working to create information that better captures design intent. And then we look at inform, how you can optimize designs based on information you've extracted from that you'll be able to build into the design and that you'll be able to extract from your basic preliminary concepts. Now, this page shows you all the improvements as categorized. So you have a bird's eye view, and then we'll delve in onto each section. So under modernize, we have tabbed views and improved docking and tiling. Those of you that have moved to Revit 2019 will already be familiar with this. You're able to use multi-monitor support, meaning you can move tabs, you can move tabs to a different monitor to just improve and increase the screen real estate that you have available. Levels in 3D material appearances, etc. We have strengthening. These are the improvement features. We have create, we have automate, inform, and we have connect. So we'll start with modernize. The features under modernize, starting with tabbed views. Before now, if you're going to use Revit, apart from having your docking and tiling, you had to move out of your current view before you could access another project. But now, with the new tabbed views, you are able to. Can you guys see my cursor? Hello? Okay, I'll assume you can see it. If you can see it, let me know. Yes. Okay, so as just this is an example of the tabbed view. So now all you have to do is click on the tabs just the same way you have in normal Windows applications. So you can just click on the tab and switch from one view to another, as highlighted here. So you're able to better organize and arrange your views. You can move the tabs around to support your current workflow at the moment. Now, the next feature under modernize is multi-monitor support. Now, we already know that most professionals use more than one display, and Revit now provides full support for use on multiple monitors. You can drag a project view out of the Revit window into its own window, then you can move the window to another monitor as needed to support your workflow. You can drag as many views as you like. You can maximize them to full screen. You can tile them or minimize them as needed. So you are able to increase the working space you have available so you can focus on the work you're doing at the moment. Another feature that's been added to improve and modernized Autodesk is that we now have levels in 3D views. They're one of the most important Revit datum elements, as they help you to establish important vertical locations within the project. So now, with this, you can display and edit levels in both orthographic and perspective 3D views. The perspective 3D views are the ones that come from your camera views, and that orthographic are the ones that when you click on the 3D icon, that you have that you can move around. If your levels are not displayed in 3D, based on probably previous settings that you've put in place, you're able to easily turn them on your visibility graphics override. You can enable and disable annotations. You can resize. You can resize the extents using the grip handles, just like you would do in a normal elevation view in Revit, which is with regards to the levels that you have. And then when you have new files that you are creating, the display is already in place. But if you're opening new files, it might be turned off. So just go to your visibility graphics override to turn it on. So you're able to save time and reduce the need for additional working, which is how we work right now, without the levels being visible in 3D views. The next is material appearances. When you render in 3D, when you render 3D views in Revit at the moment, the common complaint is that the rendering doesn't look realistic, that it's a bit washed out. So now the materials have now been upgraded so that you now have physically based appearance assets. When you are rendering, it's replicating real world physics, and then you are able to implement this. You're able to create more realistic 3D views. These assets are already included in Revit 2019, and it covers different material types like carpet, ceilings, stones, etc. So it would be good to explore those features and increase our ability to render photorealistic views in Revit 2019. The next feature is improved work with perspective views. We're able to create uncropped perspective views. At the moment now, every time you create a perspective view, you can see that there's a crop ensures that you don't need to go through the longer process to move from the perspective to 3D views. Okay, so again, this helps you to work faster and easier. We have scope box improvements. These 3D, these scope boxes can be used to control the extents of datum elements and the crop regions of views. As you can see from this, from the images attached here, you will be able to change the size and the shape of the scope box. You can, once you make these changes, the scope box will adjust accordingly. Now, you can now assign a scope box to a view or a datum element from the properties palette, as you can see here. So once you apply a scope box to it, any changes you make to that scope box will be reflected in the view. So you have a consistent behavior of levels across 2D and 3D views. Now we go on to the next category, which are the features that strengthen the use of the software, the foundation of the product. It's what it is good at, strengthen those ones. So the first feature is the addition of or in filters. For those of you in the MEP line, you know that the use of filters come in very, very useful in identifying, in querying your model for information based on your defined criteria. So now you can now structure your filter so that the result will yield you a yes questions. So in Revit 2019.1 now, you're able to use or and conditions. Like I said again, it's something that the MEP engineers would find extremely useful. The next feature that has been added under strengthening is the ability to double fill patterns. You can layer two fill patterns on top of each other so that whether it is projection, that is elevation, or a cut situation like plan sections, you can use the background fill pattern and overlay it with a foreground pattern. So the background will be at the back, foreground obviously in front. So you're able to have more complex graphical renderings that carry more information. And then you can use this for field regions. You can use this for object level overrides, visibility graphic display overrides, etc. So it helps you to communicate your design intent more easily. The next feature under the strengthening category is vertical text alignment improvement. It helps you to control your text elements by giving you multiple align options, as you can see under my cursor here. So you are able to align left, middle, and right. You are able to create left, middle, and right horizontal alignments. And you are also able to top, bottom, and center vertical align the text fields. So this helps in customizing your documentation, making it easier to view and read. The next feature under strengthening for Autodesk Revit 2019.1 is the views usability improvements. So you are able to rename views, schedules, sheets, and groups in the project browser that is here. You know, normally the process is you have to right click and then go through all that process. But now you just do a slow double click here, and you can change the naming right in the project browser. So I mean, this is how you expect a normal Windows application to work normally. So that has been Revit has been brought up to speed in that area. So if you look at the entire the entire design process, you notice that what is being done is to reduce the number of clicks, the length of time it takes you to achieve particular tasks. So imagine that you are saving maybe 5 to 6 clicks per operation you are carrying out. At the end of the day, it adds up to a lot of time that you're saving. So you're able to achieve your end results faster. So before you, however, you need to note that now, which is a good thing, before you delete a level, you're going to have a warning that shows you the corresponding views. I mean, you're used to that, but what has been added is that all the elements that are relating to the selected views will also now be listed You can see all the, you can expand the view by using the scroll bar here and see all that has been included. Just click OK to cancel the deletions. So this helps you to ensure that your other team members do not accidentally delete elements from the model. So it helps you to improve your productivity while you're working with your views. We also have under strengthening the file version open dialog. It has been added. You know, normally when you open an old file, it just tells you that, oh, it has to be upgraded. I mean, it's in the box that you see that it's asking to upgrade from file, say Revit 2015 to 2019. Now to upgrades, because there are times when you open a file and upgrade that you did not intend to. I mean, some people are still working on it in a lower version, that kind of situation. So once you click on the file, in the preview window, you're going to see the version of the software. Sorry, the version that the project was last saved in. So, meaning, of course, you know, this means that it will be updated, but at least you now have the information to decide on, okay, do I click this now or should I look for something else? So you can minimize a lot of unnecessary delays and unnecessary file upgrades that you did not intend to initiate. The next category is under create. This is a function that helps you to more efficiently create information. Basically, that is what this section focuses on, so that you can better capture your design intent. So first in this list is the introduction of dimensions for curved objects in section views. The dimensions can now work on view-specific geometry, you know, like edges and points. When you cut a view plane, before it used to be difficult for you to select some of these elements, but now you can now dimension here. This helps you to enhance your documentation workflow, especially when it has to do with fabrication and site installation, where you have complex elements. So the dimensions for curved objects in the section view can now be used by the architects and the engineers. All the professionals, all the professions can use this, and especially I'm sure people working on bridge design and very complex architectural designs will be pleased with this. So this feature basically helps you to enhance your ability to create precise documentation by looking at the end-to-end workflow from the beginning to the end, and ensure that areas that introduce difficulties have been eliminated. Also, in the design process, in the design creation process, there's an introduction now that there's a new feature that allows you to split railings. So outside of the sketch mode, you know, before you need to go into the sketch mode and then start making your modifications, maybe reduce one, then duplicate. But now you can use the split tool. You can see, you can use the split tool on railing elements. And when the railing is split, you now have the two different elements that now have part sketches that are independent of each other. So you could theoretically divide this railing into 4 or 5, depending on what you are trying to achieve. So it gives you more control over how you generate railings from your railing path. Okay, for our engineers, we have detailed steel design functionalities introduced in Revit 2019.1. It helps you to easily modify structural framings and your column elements, and it helps you, you're able to introduce steel components now, like plates, bolts, anchors, and you can place them in the 3D model to connect structural members together. So this helps you to have a more accurately defined design, more accurately defined design model in Revit, and also ensures that you have a better connection and interoperability between Revit and advanced steel for steel fabrication. So the flexibility in modeling has been improved, and you can create more complex steel connections in your structural steel model. Next that we have will be standard and custom connections, still under the steel aspect. You have access to about 125 parametric steel connections. So this helps you to speed up your design, your modeling, your steel modeling connections. The process, it helps you to speed it up with a high level of details within the Revit environment. So you don't have to go and look for steel connections for Revit add-in, like had to be done. Everything is now part of Revit 2019. So you now have a new set of dedicated tools under the new steel ribbon. For those of you that are already using Revit 2019, you'll have noticed that there's a steel ribbon that has been introduced now. So this is where you can model your steel connections based on the requirements that you have. So with this feature, you are able to improve productivity by creating your own steel connections and storing them for later reuse. Okay, please, if you have questions, okay, hold on. Okay, please. Yeah, if you have questions, please just put it in the Q&A. Thank you. In the chat box, I mean. Okay, the next feature under Create is the ability to is the use of dedicated tools to create a more accurate and detailed engineering drawing where steel connections are concerned. You can easily create structural drawings complete with dimensions, as you can see here, tags, schedules, right within the Revit environment. So you can get a better understanding without having to go into an external environment. These schedules that you now create can now include information for steel elements like your beams, your columns, and also your bolts and your plates. So there's a tighter integration for structural steel design in the new Revit 2019.1. So basically, what this feature helps you to achieve is that you can now better deliver your documentation, including the details and schedules for the components of your structural steel connections. Under Create, the next set of tools, the next feature actually is free-form rebar shape matching. This helps to improve your scheduling and the annotation of rebar in your documentation, dimensioning, the counting, etc. Helps you to, it improves on it. So your free-form rebar will now either match existing rebar shapes, or it creates a new rebar shape family from its bar geometry. So the geometry of free form rebar now is you just define, you select particular references, you define that and possibly match it with a rebar shape family. There are workshop instructions. There's a workshop instructions parameter. You can see it up here. it specifies how the freeform rebar will be fabricated, and you can actually choose between whether it is straight or it is a bend. So if it's straight, obviously we know it means the bar will be delivered as a straight bar to the site, and the shape code will be loaded into the project, right? But if it's bent, then it means that the bar will be matched to an existing rebar shape, or a matching shape will be created. Sorry. So under this feature also ensures that for the numbering of your rebar, the assembly matching, etc., are better integrated. So the bottom line is that you are able to enhance the 3D model and communication of fabrication instructions. You know that Autodesk is focused on ensuring that it's easier to create, to create and manufacture buildings, products, etc. No, so this helps you to ensure that the instructions required can be added to the BIM model, enhance your modeling process. Under Create as well, we now have content, a combination of content from the previous releases and addition of new content. And also there are some country-based multidisciplinary workflow capabilities. So you can see that it has been included for German. I'm sure my colleagues from Practech will be very happy about that. And well, there's also this inclusion of the Autodesk Foundation Chair. So basically it helps you to work more efficiently overall. Okay. So we'll go to the Automate section of the new features that we have in Revit 2019. Okay. So here we have girder slabs here are now part of the precast automation process. So it follows similar configuration rules, and the workflow, it shares the workflow with other types of precast elements, like you have in structural precast extension for Revit. You can perform segmentation into girder slabs. You can add reinforcement based on predefined rules to automate the process of modeling the girder assemblies. You can also use this feature in conjunction with shop drawings, and you can export. You can carry out. It now includes CAM export features, meaning that you from your design to fabrication has been simplified. So again, helps to enhance and automate the process of design to fabrication. Okay. Next, we have Connect. These tools in the Connect category, they basically just help to they help teams to connect their workflows from throughout the entire project life cycle. And first amongst this would be improvements in IFC support. Previously, you had invalid elements, and now you're able to import and export more cleanly. You can import IFC and Rhino elements, and imported IFC elements can now be copied and mirrored in Revit 2019. So some of the challenges that we've had in working with IFC, they've been solved, and we are better able to work with professionals who are working with other softwares that are not Autodesk related, so as to create a tighter integration between teams working on different systems. So the next feature under the next category is inform. These ones help us to optimize designs for the best results. So in previous releases, the users, I'm talking about the parallel pump sets, users have to configure connectors, understand where to input data for scenarios where pumps are defined, etc. You couldn't just drop in a pump and know, okay, where do I import information that is associated with the flow factor property of the connector, etc. But now, what this improvement has done is to provide a consistent way of defining pumps, whatever the way in which they are connected. So you simply can now, you no longer have to deal with flow factor or try to connect things in certain order so that the flow will propagate through the pumps. Now you just simply set up and analyze pumps in parallel in your hydronic networks, and then you can easily compute flow from duty and standby pump quality. So the pumping configurations have been enhanced by the in Revit 2019.1. I'm sure the MEP guys are extremely happy about this new feature. Yes. Still with the MEP, our MEP colleagues, we have improvements in primary and secondary hydronics network, so that you're able to create much more complicated piping networks. We have support for headered systems, hydronic bridges, and one pipe primary loops. So basically here, we're able to more easily see the flow and pressure drop on each pump element in the overall network. Again, the ability to extract information and to embed information and to create more, to be able to more efficiently carry out your design intent and pass the same across to your team members. This feature would ensure that is better. The experience of this is better. So we've come to the end of the various features that we have in Revit 2019.1, and we're now open for questions and comments on what we've just seen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dolapo, for the presentation. We would like to open the Q&A to our participants.
Oh, the presentation, yes. I'll send the presentation to Zoe and she'll forward to everyone. Okay. There's a question that will I send you the presentation from Irene, and yes, Zoe will take care of that.
Are there any other questions?
You're welcome, Irene. Any other questions?
There's one question. Any improvements in entourage?
Any improvement? Well, so the improvement in entourage, in what area? Do you mean in the rendering or the realistic nature of the entourage? Which aspect are you referring to? Oh, realistic nature. Well, the aspect that deals with the new physical materials ensures that when you render, it looks more real. I think, let me see if I can find the slide that has this. It's a very clear example of the way your renderings will now look. Yes, if you look here, just watch my cursor. You see that this is the existing way your renders look. And if you look over to this side, you can see the improvement that the grain pattern on the wood is better. The reflection there's a higher quality, even around the floors. You can see that it's way better than what we had before. So your entourage will look way better in the new Revit 2019. Okay, another question says, can Revit analyze and design? From Ruchika, I guess this means that can you carry out structural analysis? I guess in a limit, to a certain extent. But then one of the benefits of having the AEC collection is that instead of having one single bloated software that does everything you need to do, we have specialized software that deal with particular tasks and activities you need to carry out. So I'm assuming you're a structural engineer. So from Revit, you can start out some analysis, you can carry out analysis, and also you can also connect it to robot structural analysis. If you mean analysis in a broad sense, in the sense of solar studies, how do you call it? Energy consumption patterns, just to optimize your design, Revit is fantastic in that regard. So I guess I could send you some information on how you can go about that, or you could simply just search on YouTube and you'll see the different ways in which Revit can do this. All right. Is there any improvement in electrical? For instance, is it possible to generate line schematic diagrams with Revit 2019? Well, that hasn't been included as far as I know, but I'll get I'll get more information on that. But right now, what I know is that it has not been included. It has not been included in the improvements that we have. But very soon it's coming. Will site collaboration using Civil 3D still be treated? Site collaboration using Civil 3D. Okay, yes, that's one of the features that we have, but we're not going to touch on it here because it requires some data sets that is not currently available. The 2019.1 version was made available. I'm not sure if you've all downloaded it, but 15th, just about 3 days ago. But again, what I would do is send you documentation that will actually guide you through that entire process. I would include it in the material that I'll be sending to Zoe to forward to every single one of us. So you'll be able to go through it using your own materials in the office. It's a better way to understand how that works. And there's another question. Any improvements in sheets in terms of using one view multiple times across various sheets? I wouldn't call that an improvement, Josephine. There's a reason why it has been made in such a way that one view per sheet. This is because, you create different views for different reasons. You could have a floor plan and you say, okay, all I want to show on this floor plan is simply the furniture layout. Now, instead of taking this and using it for another reason, for another purpose, you simply duplicate and create create another view for the specific purpose that you intend. So it helps you to ensure that the information you are passing across is deliberate. You understand, and that you don't need to go back and start making far-reaching improvements, changes across your drawings. So this will not be done. It will not be. It's not something that you should look forward to or be interested in having That's simply an I would say an AutoCAD way of doing things, and it won't work in Revit. Okay, Raymond says, regarding chilled water systems, which was the last part, I would like to know if Revit 2019 can design chilled water systems with all necessary fittings, as well as determine the load required for a particular reason. Well, this improvement basically ensures that the process of determining flows, loads, etc., has been made easier. Now, if you say a design chiller system with all necessary fittings, yes, you can. The load required for a particular building, yes, you can. Of course, it's going to determine on the information that you have available, the requirements of the design. So if you are saying that, if you carry out a design, would Revit just automatically just say, okay, this is the load for this area? No, you are the one that will put in rules that will guide how this will be determined. So yes, based on the rules you have put into the software, you can determine, well, you can bring the load required for the building into the Revit project. I hope that answers your question. That's Raymond Baitse. I hope I got your name right.
Dolapo, there's one more question that came through from the chat. Any improvement in bar ranging along circular, 1 SABs or 2 beams?
Please, can you say that again? I didn't get that. Okay, let me see if I can.
There's a question on the chat, on the webinar chat from David Owino.
Okay. Any improvement in bar ranging along circular, 1, I guess you meant slabs, 2 beams? I am not aware of this, but Zoe, is there a way to get these questions out to me so that I can?
Sure, no problem. Then we have another question. Please, can Revit be used for storm sanitary flow of drafting?
Well, I also do not have information about this because I don't work with this particular aspect. But again, I'll get the information across to you. But storm sanitary flow. Let me just say I'll get the information back across to you. I will consult with Elijah and we'll include this information. There's a question saying, what's the difference between robot and Revit? Okay, so I'll take that question to mean between robot and Revit structures. So robots, you're able to carry out in-depth analysis. Basically, let's just say that, you know, the analysis part of structural design, robot is purpose-built for that. But then in Revit, you can carry out your modeling, you can carry out some basic loadings and some basic, you can put in some basic analysis. There's ability to have some basic analysis, but in depth, you need to connect Revit and robot. But then the connection is both ways. So it's not like you have to now physically export before you get into robot. And when you have the AEC collection, it comes in the package. Okay, so that's the basic difference. Revit is the design, is primarily design, and we have analysis components of it, and then Revit is more about the analysis aspect. Sorry, the robot is more about the analysis aspect. I said I'm using Building Design Suite Premium 2017. How can I update to 2019? I think there's a switch to, there's an M2S, I think, but the information will be gotten directly to you on how you can do this. Somebody will be in contact with you to educate you on the process that you will need to go through to do this. Now I can see it's this building design suite you have, which is it might probably be better if you move to AEC collection from your building design suite, but also you'll be able to communicate, you'll be able to get the information later. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions or observations, or maybe you've tried it out and there's something you've noticed that you want to bring to our attention? Please, the floor is open. Okay, so I guess this means that we are satisfied and we've identified the different features that we're going to test out later today or during the week. I would suggest for those of you that are using version even 2016, 2017, as much as possible, please upgrade. Yes, these features actually contribute to the efficiency of your workflows. They didn't just, Autodesk did not just wake up and say, okay, let's just create something so that they will buy. This is actually, this is the result of hundreds of, or probably thousands of hours of examining current workflows and seeing how they can be improved. So it is to your benefit to explore these new features and incorporate them into your workflows. Also, for those of you who are using 2018, 2019, and you're still using it as if it's 2015 you're using, please take the time to get familiar with the new features so that you don't just you don't just stay in the 2015, 2014 mindset, and you can increase your productivity in a positive, positivity. No, you can increase your productivity across board in your organization. All right. So thank you for the opportunity to show you the new features of Revit 2019.1, and I'll be sending you the presentation and the answers that I promised that I'll get across to you, and hope you'll be able to explore more on your own. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dolapo, for your time and the presentation. Thank you for our attendees. Thank you for joining us today. We wish you a good afternoon further. Thank you.
All right.